So the electrical part is finally done. I got a new breaker box put in my basement with 2 more 30 amp breakers, and from each one of those they're wired up to these switches, to these outlets here, which will go to these plugs. You'll see right there. The only thing I haven't done yet is test for water leaks. I just put it all together today, and I had to make the extension cords myself. They're obviously a lot longer than I needed, but Lowe's would only let me get I guess the minimum was 6 feet for a cord, so I got a 6-footer and cut it in half, which will give me some room to move the kettles out a ways, I guess. But so technically I can brew indoors now. There's a lot more things I'm going to work on doing. Those right there off in the corner, the squat rack, I'm going to put a 4x4, well, I'm going to cut a 4x4 in half and put it underneath the legs and put some casters on those. And I have a steel pipe to go with it. I'm going to use a Harbor Freight chain hoist to pull the brew in a bag out of it. Maybe get like a big trash can or something, just dump the grains in, dump them outside. The other thing I'm going to do with that PVC pipe there, I have some lids that a coworker made for me that I'll attach PVC pipe to the lid. It's kind of like how a Sankey keg lid looks, like that, with the hole on top. And I'm going to try and pipe the steam out a window. So if you've seen the Spike Brewing steam condenser, it's pretty much a DIY version of that. So that'd be the next two things I'm going to try and work on doing with this. Later on down the line, I'm going to see about getting a water line ran up to here and putting a wash sink in that corner over there, so I can have everything pretty much self-contained. But that's not quite as important as, you know, getting all the stuff wired in. This is from brewhardware.com. It's a 5500 watt heating element, 240 volt. And I got some of the parts on Amazon. It was just easier to find some of the stuff that way. Sorry, one of the things I was a little confused about was how the heating element went into the bulkhead. I thought you put the whole thing inside the kettle and then pushed it out through the bulkhead, pushed the electrical part out, but it's the other way around. You push the heating element into the kettle, and then, if I can't even see it, that tri-clamp thing there, or whatever it's called, it attaches to the heating element and the bulkhead. That's how it secures this thing into place. There's not a lot of instructions on how to put these together, so I was a little bit confused, I guess. But since there's no there's no way turning these things off once they're on, I wasn't going to try and take the chance of having a 240 volt electrical device. You know, I'm trying to pull it out of an outlet while it's live. That's what these switches are for, so I can safely power them up and down. Plus, you can't dry fire these. You can't have them being heated up when there's not water there. So this was really important for me to have that have those switches added.